Now, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky has said that the North Korean troops are back on the front lines in Russia's Kursk region, and this comes after reports that Moscow had withdrawn them due to heavy losses. And according to the South Korean and Western intelligence, more than 10,000 soldiers from North Korea were sent to Russia last year to help it fight back a shock Ukrainian offensive into the border region. Last week, reports quoted a Ukrainian military spokesperson saying that Kiev had not encountered activity or clashes with the North Korean troops for at least about 3 weeks. But Zelensky has now claimed that there have been more assaults in the Kursk operation areas. He said in his evening address that the Russian army and the North Korean soldiers have been brought in again and that hundreds of opposing troops have been destroyed.
Also today, there was a report by the Commander-in-Chief on the situation in Donetsk and Kursk regions. There have been new assaults in the Kursk operation areas. The Russian army and North Korean soldiers have been brought in again. A significant number of occupants have been destroyed. We are talking about hundreds of Russian and North Korean soldiers.
Now remember, Kiev had captured dozens of border settlements in its Kursk offensive 6 months ago, and it was the first time that a foreign army had crossed into Russian territory since the end of the Second World War. The North Korean deployment was supposed to reinforce the Russian army and help them expel Ukraine's troops, but this was never officially confirmed by Moscow or Pyongyang. As of now, Ukraine has lost some of the territory that it initially had captured, but Kiev still holds swathes of the Russian territory, which Zelensky is likely to use as a bargaining chip in any possible future negotiations with Moscow. Meanwhile, Baltic states have begun a historic switch away from Russian power grid more than 3 decades after leaving the Soviet Union. Estonia, Latvia and Lithuania have begun to unplug from Russia's electricity grid and join the European Union's network. The power grid has connected the 3 nations to Russia and Belarus since after the Second World War. And the so-called Brel grid, which stands for Belarus, Russia, Estonia, Latvia and Lithuania, is controlled almost entirely by Moscow. It's long been seen as a vulnerability for the former Soviet republics, who are now NATO members. And after disconnecting from it this morning, the 3 countries have now entered into an isolated mode, surviving only on their own power before integrating into the European grid via Poland on Sunday. For all the latest news, download the WION app and subscribe to our YouTube channel.